Hello students, in this video lecture, we are going to see what the introduction about managerial economics and the basic concept of our subject, that is demand and supply analysis. We'll start with the managerial economics. What is managerial economics? Why? What is the significance of this managerial economics towards the management students? This managerial economics deals with the application of economic concepts. What are the economic concepts we can apply in management? That is what we are going to study. That is what it is managerial economics is called as. The economic concepts such as demand analysis, supply analysis, pricing, cost, production, and what are the factors of production which involves for the production process, and how it is profitable, market structure, and how the price and output can be determined in the market. These are all the theories which we can study and apply these theories into the practical business world or any practical business problems. It is a synchronization of economic theory and practical solve the practical problems in the business. So that the managerial economics bridges the economic theory and economics in practice or business in practice. It is what we call it as the managerial economics. The managerial economics is defined by the famous economist called Milton H. Spencer and Lawrence Sigelman. Spencer and Sigelman define managerial economics as the integration of economic theory with the business practice for the purpose of facilitating decision making and forward planning by the management. Yes, of course, the management or any kind of management or business, we required to have certain decision making on demand, on supply, on production, on cost, on profit, and determination of prices. Everywhere we require to have decision making, to take an appropriate decision making and making an appropriate planning for their businesses. We require certain economic theory, so that the managerial economics helps or supports to integrate this economic theory into the business practice, so that we can able to get an idea about how we can take it forward for decision making and forward planning. That is the essence of managerial economics. And what are the scope of managerial economics? We can study demand analysis. We can study demand forecasting. We could study about the cost of production of that particular industry, and we can analyze our production process. The major topics what we are going to discuss under the cost and production, like pricing decisions, pricing policy, pricing, how we can practice our prices depends upon the various situations, and how we can make the profitable company, and we have to manage our capital investments. These are all comes under that particular topic. Next, we are going to see what is decision making, why the decision making is important for the management, and how the decision making is possible by studying this economic theory. The fundamental concepts that aids decision, what we are going to discuss. First, we will see what is the meaning of decision making. As you are a management students, you are well aware of that what is decision making? Decision making is nothing but an important function in management, since the decision making is related to problem, and effective decision making helps to achieve the desired goals or the objectives by solving such problems. So the problem solving method is a good decision making process. There are certain characteristics of decision making. One is which it is a process making a choice from alternative sources of action, and decision making is the end process preceded by the deliberation and reasoning. And decision making is a focus point at which the plan, policies, and objectives are transformed into a concrete and very strong actions. And rationality is another characteristics of decision making. The human brain, with its ability to learn, to remember, and to relate many complex factors, makes this rationality possible. And decision making involves commitment. And the purpose of decision making is to select the best alternative among the many alternatives, which can significantly contribute towards organizational objective. There are certain process which involves in decision making. One is investigation of the situation, that is the basic process, and we need to develop the best alternatives. And after getting the best alternative, or to proceed to find the best alternative, we have certain suggestions from the expert called Professor Peter Drucker. The risk which involves in developing the alternatives, the economy of effort which is involved in developing the alternatives, and timing is also important parameter, and limitations of the resources, it's also another parameter, which all contributes to take the an appropriate alternative, develop the appropriate alternative. And this, the last one is implementation and monitoring the decision making. So we need to investigate the situation, then develop alternatives. For the development of alternatives, we have certain criterias, and after development of the alternatives, or this finding the solution, we need to implement. We should not stop only by implementation. We need to monitor the decision, whether what that is working fine or not, or we need to take simultaneous decisions for the betterment of the particular process. There are certain factors which involves in decision making, like time pressures, the value of the managers who is taking the decision, and the policy of the organization, which involves in the factors influencing on the decision, whether the decision is correct or wrong. And there are certain managerial decisions area, like the choice of business, what business we can proceed, and choice of product, which product we can produce, and determination of optimum output, how much we can produce for the particular commodity, and choice of technology, factor combination, whether we need to use more capital or we need to use more labor force. Then acquisition of inputs, we need to acquire the inputs at cheaper cost, and determination of prices of particular commodity, and assessing the economic environment and business scope. So these are all the decision areas where we need to take an appropriate decision. How we can take this all decision in an appropriate manner by studying the managerial economics and economic theory and applying it into the business practice, so that we can able to take an appropriate decision, what business we can do, and what product we can produce, and what the level of optimum output we can produce, and how much capital we can use, how much labor we can use based upon its cost of production, and how much the price we can fix, and assessing the economic environment and business scope by studying the managerial economic theories. And there are certain economic science also which involves in the our managerial economics, that is microeconomics, macroeconomics, economic principles, theories, concepts, and there are certain tools of analysis. Then we have quantitative methods also we can use in managerial tools like mathematical tools, statistical tools, game theory, and econometric tools. And the managerial economics is an application of economic theory and quantitative methods to find solution to business problem. So this is the overall introduction about the managerial economics. In the next video session, we are going to elaborately see the applications of the theory and the understanding of all the theories, economic theories, starting from demand up to the market. Thank you, students.